Welcome back everyone to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. This is our Season 12 setup video for Cthulhu Death May Die. We're playing the Endgame scenario. So we're going to fast forward through the board setup and get the initial tokens on the board, and then we'll walk you through the setup.
Okay, so let's jump through the rest of the setup of Season 2, Episode 6, Endgame. This is our Pontos Fathom Season 12 of Cthulhu Death May Die. And we're going to be playing with Sergeant Mario Bragheri and Adila Vidal. So I've got those minis on the board, and you can see that they have a setup position. You can see it if I scooch the camera down a bit. They have a setup position down here at the bottom of the board. Here's Mario and Adila. And Mario has faced these chochos before. We've got chochos in this game. Dodge this. And so we got the chochos. We're also going to be playing with the Hastur Great Old One. So we can set Hastur up on the board over here. Let's quickly read through their background stories, and then we'll read through the episode stories. We'll finish the setup of the board, and we'll jump into gameplay. Sergeant Mario Bragheri. I do not threaten, instead I make promises. Sergeant Mario Bragheri has a talent for interrogation due in part to his superior observational skills and in part to his utterly terrifying demeanor. One might expect cultists dealing with eldritch horrors to be immune to the 1,000-yard stare from a mere mortal, but something about Sergeant Bragheri's gaze cuts straight to a subject's primordial fears. A whispered word or two saps the cultist's resolve with brutal efficiency. Sergeant Bragheri never gets physical, noting that information gained in that manner often proves unreliable. Instead, 5 minutes alone has them babbling like a brook. Okay, so he's got marksman, interrogation, toughness. So we'll place him right here. And scooch these out of the way. Let's check out Adila Vidal. Magic and religion are the same. You cannot do one without the other. Adila Vidal is a gifted voodoo priestess and fierce guardian against the horrors that exist out of mankind's sight and mind. Her rituals may seem strange to the modern eye, but investigators have long since learned to value diverse beliefs and practices. Anything that aids the fight against the cults and their horrific gods is welcome, whether they be a chicken claw clutching a pouch of herbs or a crucifix dipped in alchemical ink. Adila's protective wards have saved more than one investigator's life, often at a cost of herself that she pays without hesitation. There's Adila again. Got her kind of looking just like her facsimile here. Let's get her on the board. Let's get her board here set up. She has got Voodoo, Brawling, and Arcane Mystery. So we'll set up those boards with their tokens. Then we've on the board for this scenario, we've got the scenario map set up below that we fast forwarded through. We've got 5 cultists that we can place. We've got 2 kind of styles of cultist here. Just show you guys these. Our cultists painted up. Now with Cthulhu Death May Die, it's one of these games that I paint. I've done paint throughs of the box sets, but then I kind of saved it so that I can paint the characters that come up one by one. So it allows me to sort of get some painting in and not all grouped at one time. And the one I just painted up for this one, you probably saw it maybe last week or so, is one of the enemies of this scenario. So for Endgame, we've got the Chochos and we've got the Dimensional Shambler. And I've got a paint through video that was maybe a couple weeks ago I put it up. And so here's the Dimensional Shambler. I think I'm going to pull out, during one of the gameplays, remind me to pull out the Dimensional Shamblers that come with the Cthulhu Wars Azathoth expansion. I think it's quite interesting how differently they characterize the Dimensional Shambler. Let me just go pull it out. I think it's kind of fun. I just think it's odd that how, different molds and artists are going to interpret these Lovecraftian monsters, right? So this is the Cthulhu Wars. I'm just going to do it just for fun. They've got dimensional shamblers here as well, but they're quite hideous. And they're definitely more shambling, actually. These guys are like, these are the dimensional shamblers from Cthulhu Wars. And here's our dimensional shambler. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment. Which dimensional shambler? I mean, I like this mini. It's great. But as far as shambling goes, this guy doesn't seem as much of a shambler. He seems more like, he reminds me of the villain in Resident Evil 2. You know, he's just sort of unstoppable, like Mr. X or whatever he was called, right? So anyway, that was that. Let's get this guy on the map. Dimensional Shambler shows up here. We've also got these Chochos. Chocho. And we've got them placed. We start with one here for now. We'll leave the others in reserve. And this, so let's read a little bit about the Endgame scenario now. So Endgame scenario, it says, on a soundstage in Hollywood. First of all, check out the box art for the season. It's pretty cool. And the reason why I picked Mario and Adila is because they actually have, actually Adila doesn't, but they have the fiery box art on these. So I just kind of included them for that simple reason, just because of a printing detail. But it says, on a soundstage in Hollywood, actors rehearsing everywhere. What they don't know is the script is called The King in Yellow, and it will drive everyone mad. We need to find the mastermind behind this and deal with him. But he is Legion. To disrupt the ritual, remove all the souls infesting the cult leader. Have no unholy life tokens under it. After the ritual is disrupted, remove the cult leaders from the board and place a cultist in his space. So here's the cultists' figures. These are the cultist tokens that go with this adventure. So you've got cultists and you've got a cult leader, and they are yellow. So the mechanism for these, we place the cult leader here, and we just leave these by the side of the board for now. These cultists are here. But we also, because we're playing the King in Yellow, we've got Hastur, King of Yellow here, King in Yellow. We'll put him on the board as our Great Old One. And then we'll also include his minions of Hastur as the blended scenario. So minions of Hastur, Elder One minions go here, Hastur disciples, Elder One. So they'll get spawned from our Mythos cards. And our Mythos cards, again, we've got Mythos cards that are from Hastur, and then we have ones that are from the Endgame. So we'll just give these a shuffle. These will be our Mythos cards throughout the game. We also have yellow sign tokens. These come with the Hastur Great Old One. So yellow sign tokens are gameplay that'll come up from, get these on the board to prepare for those. We've got the various stages of Hastur, stage 1, 2, 3, and final stage. We can place these here. Our episode monsters, Endgame monsters. Again, we've got Chochos and Dimensional Shambler. We'll place our extra Chochos here as we need to. And lastly, we've got our Discovery cards. I've got these all bagged up, ready to go. I'll get the hearts out for them. We've got the board game set up. Now this is those actors. We've got these actor tokens from the scenario. And it says again, when the Elder One advances, each investigator takes 1 stress for the rehearsing actor, 1 space for the wounds. Flip a rehearsing actor on your space on their on-break side. So they're on a break. They've got a chair when they're on their break. In a space with the cult leader, you make a roll. This is Destroy Soul. If you get +2 success, remove an unholy life token from under the cult leader. I don't know what the unholy life token is. What is the unholy? Is this underneath this guy? No. What is an unholy life token? What is that? Oh, those are that's the unholy life tokens. So these are the unholy life tokens. They're not cultists. There's a cult leader, and he begins with 3 unholy life tokens underneath him. So we take these unholy life tokens and we place them under the cult leader, like this. And then he goes into his chamber. And then we've got some other ones on the side of the board. Okay, so that's that. Let's keep this here for reference. Lastly, we're going to pick our Arkham Sanitarium patient medical files. And let's see what we get here. So one is masochism. We give this to Mario. And Adila, she gets fear of crowds. Okay, so that's their paranoias. Put these on the side for now. And that's just about going to do it for wrapping up our setup. Before we go, just quick shout out to this channel's sponsor, Pontos Fathom Press. Volumes 1 and 2 of Tales of the Yellow Sign. You get Robert Chambers, The King in Yellow, with special preface by August Moldenhauer. It's basically what started all of this Yellow Sign stuff. And it also has a great introduction of talking about Lovecraft's influence. And then finally, Lost Carcosa and the Yellow Sign, a companion volume written by August Moldenhauer. It goes through the Yellow Sign, Lost Carcosa, the idea of Ambrose Bierce's Carcosa poem, the history of the Yellow Sign, Qatar Yellow Cross, Catharism, Manichaeism, etc. So it takes you through the history of this. And check them out in the bookstore. We've got other links as usual. You can also check out our Patreon. Liking and subscribing helps with the algorithm. And we'll see you in turn 1. So if you click through, take it easy. Talk to you in round 1. Bye-bye.